So, to introduce you to the show, I'm actually copying this idea from Permit Room,
Okay.
the Telugu podcast.
Of course.
Hriday Ranjan is a very good reviewer, and I randomly chanced on his podcast, and I was like, I want to copy it. So I was like, who do I call? And you and I have the same taste in cinema. You love La La
Exactly.
Land.
Yeah.
You also like Tamasha.
Yes, absolutely.
No, not a lot of people like Tamasha.
True.
Why though? Why do you think?
Okay. My experience watching Tamasha was the first time I saw was like first day, first show.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it with my boss back then when I was assisting. And he's like, you want to watch? And I was like, yeah, sure. Anyway.
Okay.
So I went.
The boss was K. Chandran.
Yeah, Ravi K. Chandran, yeah. So I went with him and we were sitting watching. It was nice. It was actually like, I was like, yeah, okay, the view, like visuals are nice and music, everything. It's all.
Of course, you're in Mallorca.
Yeah.
Every frame's going to look good.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw it and like, I liked it. Like I was like, yeah, okay, it's a good film and stuff. So I came back home and I was thinking about the film and I was like, like there's something more to it.
Hmm.
And then later, my then fiance and my sister, both of them were like, we should watch. Like we want to watch. I was like,
Want to
cool.
watch
Okay,
it.
so let's go. So me, my brother-in-law, my sister, my fiance back then. So we all went. Second time is when it hit me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, something is there here." Like it's more than just what's on the surface.
Of course.
The conflict is not so big, nothing. But that's the whole point of.
Yeah, there's no big moving
Yeah.
pieces, right?
Yeah,
There's no,
exactly.
big
Like you don't need
sequences.
something dramatic happening. Of course, for cinema, you need something dramatic
Of course.
happening.
Yeah.
But in real life, you don't need something so dramatic to make you introspect and reflect and think. Any small incident, maybe you just see something or somebody
Yeah.
said something to you, could just trigger that thought and you could start like,
Yeah.
going into the what if
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah, with Tamasha, I liked how sometimes the world just makes you believe that this is who you are.
Correct. Yeah.
But sometimes it's about staying true to yourself.
Correct. But isn't that really hard? Like the reason why I also brought up Tamasha is because I mean now we know what a DOP is. I mean you're a DOP
Yeah.
and people want to be DOPs and there's like a whole ecosystem that kind of sort of supports you financially. But I think 10 years ago, suppose round about the time when you started,
Yeah.
it was not that, it wasn't that mainstream.
You're talking about.
Going into the arts full time, into a
yeah.
highly uncertain
Of course, see,
commercial
one thing,
career.
Yeah. See, social media has obviously had its impact.
Yeah, of course.
It has given exposure to a lot of people.
Correct.
And internet in India has given exposure to a lot of people because internet here is probably the cheapest when
it
you
is, it
compare
is.
it around the world. It's available everywhere. You can just
Yeah.
get it for a dirt cheap price. So
Yeah.
so these things have created a lot of exposure.
Correct.
And thereby, when you have a lot of exposure, you're gonna have an influx of people.
Who want to do it?
Yeah. And back then, before all this exposure happened, they did not know that this is something that could interest them. Like I didn't know that watching cooking videos would interest me.
But it does now?
Yeah. Like I don't cook as like I don't really cook.
Yeah, you're a passive consumer.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoy eating.
Yeah.
So I enjoy eating and I have my own opinions about food. But when I started getting exposed to it, I was like, wow. Like
There's
I
a
just,
whole other.
yeah. It's more than just the cooking. Like I just love how it's made.
Correct.
So yeah,
I think it's the same reason why people watch MasterChef also.
absolutely.
I'm not going to cook it, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
in
yeah,
it for the drama and
Exactly,
also
yeah.
how it looks and how
Yeah.
it sounds.
Exactly.
There's a whole.
So it's a part of your brain that you didn't know existed.
Correct.
So which I feel is people are getting a lot of exposure now, even adults for that matter. Like they are like world cinema is now coming,
Closer to you.
closer to you.
Yeah.
So back then, if you wanted to watch like world cinema, you have to go to a specific theater or.
A city, in fact.
So I used to sit and download films on torrents
Of course.
because obviously they were not available in India.
Yeah.
And,
That's how I watched most of the stuff that I watched.
yeah. Back in school, that's how it was. Like
Yeah.
if I had friends like, I would obviously I wouldn't write my record notebooks and stuff. I was too lazy and I
Same.
was just not capable of it.
Same.
So my friends used to write that for me, and they would be like, "Okay, just give me a 4 GB pen drive with like films."
Correct. Great
And I was
barter
like,
system.
"Yep, sure, I would do that." So
It was Dairy Milk and films for us because I had hostel
course.
kids. They were like they didn't have anything to do. They'd only have like 2 days off. So what we do, it'd be like, okay, I have internet connection and I had a broadband, and I was like,
Of course.
I'm going to pirate the
it was a
shit out of.
luxury, and it worked out well.
Of course, it definitely did. So coming back to Tamasha and why also La La Land, I think the common theme between those two movies is it ruminates. The story ruminates in you, and my connection to Tamasha is like when I saw it first, it didn't hit at all. Obviously, it's too young for me to understand
Of
it.
course,
I think I saw it on TV. Bad
You
choice.
saw it on TV. Okay.
Bad choice to watch it on
That's
TV.
right.
Or I don't actually remember when I saw it first, but I think I saw it on Netflix. But I watched it in parts
Right.
because I was in college and I would like watch it every now and then.
Of course.
A great distraction. But then I rewatched it, I think during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I completely fell in love with the idea of what the story is, especially Pankaj Mishra's character,
Right.
like how every story ends.
Exactly.
It's like Imtiaz Ali is ridiculing himself.
Yes.
He's saying, "Arey har kahani idhar hi to
It's done.
It's done. Why are you telling me the story again?"
Yeah.
But I mean, me in my own way, you in your own way, we're in the business of telling stories.
Yeah.
And I'm phrasing it as business of telling stories because there is a commercial transaction involved in like a consumer buying a ticket.
Absolutely. I mean, there has to be a commercial transaction because I feel how else are you going to improve the art?
Of
It's
course.
like how in La La Land, like he's all into jazz, but at some point there's a conflict in him where he's like, where John Legend, right? He explains to him saying, if you want to be a revolutionary,
You have to move forward.
you have to move forward. Like you can't just be a traditionalist and expect
Yeah.
it to be carried on forever because not everyone's going to love what you like.
Yeah.
So I think it's about striking the balance there.
Correct. Which is what Genie's also does. In
Yeah,
I tell my boys, I don't. As you can see, there's only like 2 iPhones here recording.
Yeah.
But like it's come to a point where it's decent. Like I'm not putting this up on a big screen. People are going to watch it on their phone, so I'll record it on a phone.
Of course. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Absolutely.
So when we are striking that balance, somewhere in us there's an altruistic identity that says, "Hey, trying not to be too meta, but there's a voice that says, buddy, I think you can do a bit better if you don't consider the money for a while," which is what you've done with your initial short films. Like,
Of course.
I watched Bookmark
Oh,
yesterday.
you did. Okay.
I went like, what's there on his IMDb?
That was shot on a budget of 4,000 rupees, and that 4,000 was for the location, and they also, it was like a cover charge.
Of course.
So technically, we didn't spend anything.
Yeah, it was all shot in one day,
Yeah, it was shot in about 4 hours.
and it went to the Canada Film Festival.
Yeah.
Was that your first big? Hey, this
Yeah,
is
because I hadn't sent it to any film festivals, and I didn't plan on as well.
Okay.
Like when I shot what I shot, my idea was to just shoot something without dialogues
yeah, fair enough.
because I'm a DOP,
Correct.
and my point was, can I tell a story
Without using dialogues.
without using dialogues, just a musical narrative? And the idea of a musical narrative came because of La La Land.
Fair enough.
So
I connected those dots. Okay.
So yeah, that was the idea behind it. And while I was getting done with it, I showed it to just a couple of people, and they were like, "No, you should send it to festivals. It's nice." Like
Nice. Yeah.
I was like, "Cool, okay." I just sent it to like few, and I realized sending it to festivals was expensive.
Yeah. It's more expensive than making the film itself.
That's true. Yeah.
Every time. So we in college, right? When I started learning how. Unfortunately, I've done everything. I've except being on the sound department, I've done everything. I've been EP. I've been
that's
line
important.
producer. I've called up people saying, "Where is my iron clothes?" My actor is ready. I've gone and gotten the makeup artist. I've picked them up, dropped them off. I've worked on my fair share of things, and I've always put my hands into it, learned it, then come on. I said I've always had the lingering guilt of not having seen through.
Of course.
Then I realized, hey, that's not my cup of tea. I actually don't like being on set. I was assistant director and additional screenplay writer for a web series. The first thing I realized was I enjoy the pre-production and the post-production. I don't enjoy production.
Right.
Which was a big. It was a bitter pill to swallow for me.
Yeah. It kind of it takes, because you probably felt that was your identity, like
Yeah.
being on set and the whole.
It didn't feel like an identity as such. It was like it's the first time I'm doing it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Bad crew. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, crew matters. Yeah,
crew was great. Decent crew. Like
Yeah.
I love the crew guys because they're still some of my closest friends.
I get it. I get it.
But the thing I realized when I was on set was because I wrote something. I wrote most of the screenplay with another person. He was the associate director. And when it came there to executing, it got really hard to do it because patience runs really thin when you don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Or rather you lack the planning. Which is when I was like, I want to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So I want to be solving the
So
problem
your
of
pre-production has to be strong.
yeah, which is where I got involved and I said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And by the time my time at the organization came to an end, and when I came out, set up the agency, a studio, I still don't know what to call it. But when we came out, the last 1 year has gone into drilling systems into
Right.
place, saying,
Right.
this is how we do things. If you're approaching a client, you need to have a mood board.
Absolutely.
Everybody has that, but there's those nuances that work for some clients, some don't. Some want references, some say, oh, do your thing. What has been your system over the last couple of years?
So for me, see, I started making short films when I was in like my 12th grade. Had my close circle of friends. We used to make short films. It was fun. Like it was basically, we didn't have a timeline as such. We would just, because we're in 12th grade and right after exams, we have all the time in the world.
Correct.
So we would just have I had a DSLR and we would just roll it and shoot whatever. We had like a small script. It was just like about 7-8 pages long. The first one that we did, we shot for a month.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but like with just very in patches. We just didn't really follow a structure as such.
Yeah, of course.
But I can tell you that till date, I've done about like 60 short films through the years. That's my most favorite short film.
The first one.
Yeah.
Because you enjoyed it the
Because
most.
I enjoyed it so much.
Okay.
There was no pressure.
Okay.
And we just shot whatever we wanted, wherever we wanted. We just pulled in favors, just shot. And we edited and yeah, it was actually fun.
Did it ever
So-
come out?
Yeah, it's there. It's there on my Facebook profile. It's not there on YouTube because YouTube like kind of chopped off the audio part of it. I mean, obviously we didn't have like a music director then.
Of course.
So we just like 16, 17.
Yeah. So you won't be going like, rights kudunga.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do, what do you do?
Yeah.
So it's not there on YouTube, but it's there on my Facebook profile.
I will go dig it.
Yeah, and a lot of people loved it.
Okay.
And
That's nice.
looking at people's reaction is when like, I was like, okay, so, because suddenly they were like, it looks so nice. What did you do? It looks so nice. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. Like, until then, I just wanted to be a wildlife photographer or something.
Okay. How is that going for you now?
Well, I just take pictures of insects now. So, and myself, maybe. So,
Lovely.
so yeah, coming to the, the
First short film.
yeah, the first short film, like we shot it in a certain way. And then the second short film, we shot it. We were like, no, we are going to shoot this in as less time as possible, the whole thing. And we botched it like crazy.
Of course.
We botched it. And it was one of the worst short films that I've done, frankly. Like, whatever you call it. Like, visually, I mean, I feel visually it was the worst. And it just, and we took too intense of a idea, which was not necessary.
Correct.
We just felt like, padana ipda rakno. Like, this is
Cinema.
cinema. Like that. So that never worked out. And I learned my lesson. I was like, yeah, maybe there's just no point.
We should maybe go easy on the idea.
Yeah, like for example, we've been shooting the whole night in my terrace. And we were like, okay, we'll shoot till 5 a.m. And morning, we'll just like take a half an hour nap and go to the beach and shoot the rest in the beach.
Did you guys all fall asleep after that? Or did you
We were
wake up?
knocked out. Like, no, we did go to the beach. We did wake up, and my friend who was directing was also like, hey, kalamno. And we're like so exhausted, like we're like groggy. We have no idea. We're going to the beach, and by the time we set up, it's like 10 o'clock and it's hot, and we got jacked.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we're shooting in the beach, one cop comes and he
How can you shoot?
yeah, he's like, what are you guys shooting porn here? Like, and and we're like, what, bro? What do you mean? Like, sir, so we had to pay him.
Of course.
It's like a typical. So basically, we had all the best experiences in the first short film.
And the worst in the...
Yeah.
So
Like
you-
the first short film, the best experience, when I say best experiences, where a cop came, he saw us shooting. Like we had a person dressed up like another cop. And he came and fixed
Adjusted
his
it and
costume, and he's like, "Olunga shoot pannungalem, police dhaan kaatringa, konjam olunga dhaan kaatringa." Like, we had that
okay.
kind of a cop. We had a good cop.
Okay,
And then the second short film, it was all crap, and we had the bad cop.
of course.
So that's when I learned my lesson that okay, so this went wrong because we tried having a
Too
structure.
much.
So sometimes people can end up throwing the structure away,
Correct.
thinking that the structure is what failed us.
That's what happened for me.
But the part is, how do you make that structure work?
Correct.
And I learned that in college. Like my professor, he was a kick-ass professor, Eugene. So he's he told us that, like, you write a script, I will approve it, give us a short division, I will approve it, and then you shoot. And I was like, yeah, sure, right, that's easy. I mean, it's all in my mind, I just have to put it down. And as I was typing it or writing it is when I realized, like, okay, there is a structure and this could work. So I did that and it worked. In college, I enjoyed shooting. Like, that's, I think the 3 years of my college is like, I reached my peak, I felt.
Everybody feels like that when they're in college.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Unless you're an engineering student like us.
of course.
Getting out of college was the peak.
I get it.
Yes, sorry.
That's
carry
true.
on.
Yeah. So yeah, we ended up. I mean, we had to shoot a lot of short film in college, and that's when I realized pre-production really helps. And then I've had my own structure where it's like a 3:1 formula.
Okay.
1 day of shoot, prep for 3 days.
Lovely.
So if you're shooting for like a feature film, say if you're shooting for like 100 days, you need almost a year
Just to prep.
just to prep.
This includes every step of prepping. That is location.
Everything. Yeah. This is provided it's a normal feature film without heavy VFX and stuff.
Correct.
If there is heavy VFX, never ever shoot without knowing what your VFX is going to be.
Oh, love. I mean,
Like,
I think that's a
Yeah.
commonsensical way of approaching it, but
practically you end up compromising.
Correct.
Because VFX takes time. You have to give it that time.
yeah, because
That is why I'm saying the pre-production is important. So
every frame,
and
they're doing every frame. So
true. And you have to basically, if the vision is not there in your head, there is no point of pre-production.
correct.
And I'm also in the belief that you can change your plan and shoot, but have a plan.
Have some plan.
You can change your plan later, but have a plan so that when you change it, you know how much you're deviating away from it.
Correct.
Because if
always
you
good
don't
to
have a plan, if you don't have a plan, you don't know how much you're deviating away.
Correct.
If like I know I when I'm driving, I like my Google Maps to be on. I want to know how much traffic is going to be there. I want to know how many minutes it's going to take me to reach somewhere. But and even if I change direction, I want to know now how long is it going to take.
Correct.
So it's the same
Having
philosophy here.
some amount of information assimilated so you can make decisions.
Yeah, films as such is a very uncertain profession.
Correct.
So it's up to you to create as much as certainty you can, so that you can handle the uncertainty.
Of course.
So yeah, that's
So that's your structure. So now from what we've just discussed, 3 questions I have as follow up.
for sure. Yeah.
One is, how important was college? I mean, you mentioned that you enjoyed 3 years of college, but
Yeah.
how do you reflect on your experiences in college a lot when you're working?
Right.
That's one thing. 2, since you have become a DOP and you're doing feature length films, the business of it comes into play.
Yeah.
How much of a role does that play in your decision making? 3, from a purely performance standpoint, you said that you have to build redundancies for, let's say, hey, something's going to go wrong, I need to build a redundancy. I think that's built into us as human beings. We like to be prepared. And some people are the opposite of that. That also works for them. I mean, you and I are quite similar when it comes to preparing, because I've been drilling into the whole pre-production thing into these into these 2 for the last. She not so much, because I started working with her very recently. Him for the last 2 years.
Okay.
He was in second year when he came, did something for me.
Okay.
And then I said, brother, you come work for me. We'll make something.
We'll change.
We'll change something. And then it's been 3 years and we're still changing something. No, but it's nice to hear it from someone who has a structure. The third question is, obviously, when you are in the whole field and you're doing stuff and films are uncertain, sometimes you do feel like throwing the rule book away.
Yes.
What
absolutely.
warrants throwing the rule book away And how often do you think you've done it, or how often would you like to do it, and what are your limitations around it?
Of course. Okay. So first thing is college.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important was college? So college, basically, when I finished 12th grade, I just wanted to go abroad. I wanted to join a film school because I had this idea in my head that, see, I've had this whole lifelong thing where I felt like I've never belonged anywhere.
Oh, same.
Because I'm from a Telugu family, but born and brought up in Chennai.
Correct. Okay.
And in Chennai, of course, I speak better Tamil than Telugu.
Correct.
Okay, but I'm still Telugu,
Of course.
and I don't have the same cultural values that a proper Tamilian would have.
Yeah, I moved around quite a bit, so I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So that and for me, again, I told you my thinking language is in English.
Correct. Because it's the common line of thought.
Yeah, it's a common line of thought, and I just think a little more clear in English. That's it. So
Did you
I
read
just
a lot
want
of books when you were growing up?
So yeah, I mean, of course, not so many, but I did read
The Secret
decent-
Seven,
yeah,
Enid
yeah,
Blyton,
yeah.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. And
So
stuff.
your vocabulary comes from
Yeah, and I watched so many movies.
of course.
So
that explains
that's-
why.
Yeah. And I watched a lot of films because obviously, like, I enjoy Tamil films, of course, but I was always interested in the aesthetics part of it.
Of course. We only got aesthetic like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, barring
Yeah, that's I mean,
Maniratnam
we've
and-
had some really aesthetic cinema, but not everyone's watched it. Basically, that wasn't the norm.
Of course.
If a film was aesthetic, it was aesthetic in itself. It's not that.
It didn't serve a further, more bigger
Yeah,
purpose of saying,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
the story required it, so we did
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So college, my dad was saying, look, if you can go abroad, you can study, no problem. But eventually, when you want to work in films, you're gonna come back here and you're gonna
Like
work.
every Telugu dad.
Yeah,
எங்க வேணா போ.
yeah. But
கடைசியில
you're gonna come
வீட்டுக்கு
back
தான்
here and
வரணும்.
you're gonna like do it. So think about it. Maybe you can just do something here, and then after that, if you want to still go abroad, you can go abroad.
Huh.
So I was like, okay, cool. So then I was very fascinated.
Sorry. How did the going abroad solve the belonging question?
Nothing, because if you're abroad, you anyway don't belong there.
Oh, so nil slate.
Yeah, I was like, doesn't matter. Like if I go abroad, I know I'm not going to belong there, but at least I can build something for myself.
Correct. You're starting from scratch.
Yeah, I'm
There's
starting
no-
from scratch. I'm like, none of my friends are going to be there.
Correct.
None of that. Like I people want, because I was a different person till about 10th grade. I was like just super quiet and just not really talking to anyone.
And then you went extrovert.
Not exactly extrovert. I went a bit annoying. So not
Self-aware,
technically
self-aware.
extrovert. So I was thinking, no, maybe I should start talking to people. And then I realized I would annoy them because I didn't really, I would pull their leg
Oh.
for no reason.
Good, no. I mean, that was your way of.
Yeah, pulling people's leg is my love language, to be frank. And
I do that a lot. I get whacked by a lot of people for that.
yeah.
Now I've quite down. But
So
yeah.
and then I realized I was annoying people, and then I realized that the bond that people seem to have is something I couldn't relate to it. Like I was like, I don't have that.
Oh, I felt that all my life, man.
Yeah.
I was born in Coimbatore, brought up in Bangalore, Kannada family, but settled in Tirupur. Then I went to Velur. So for everybody, when they ask me where are you from, I say Velur. I'm like,
Yeah.
why Velur? Because I found myself there. I
Yeah,
went to
exactly,
college
yeah.
there. I lived for 4 years there. All my best friends are from Velur.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm from Velur. Even like there's one video we made, said we made like a thing in 2023. We were doing a show. The show didn't go so well, but and then we say, hey, I came from Velur. My mom was like, but you're from Coimbatore. I'm like, you tell me where we're from.
Yeah.
My name has my uru peru, and I'm like, I don't know who's there. Why I've lived half my life here.
Exactly.
You tell me where I'm from.
Amma.
So she cut the call.
Exactly,
She
yeah.
said, I don't want to
No,
talk.
that's true. Yeah. Even in my name, like it's apparently a town near Hyderabad or something, but I've never been there. I don't know anybody who's from there.
Yeah, man. They keep moving around for work, and then they say, oh, but you should hang on to your roots. What roots, sir? What roots?
அதை பிச்சை எடுத்துட்டீங்களே நீங்க.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
Yeah. So, anyways, that happened, and I was fascinated with Bombay
Oh, aren't we all?
because I saw Wake Up Sid.
Same, man. Right? I told my dad I want to go to Bombay and become a photographer because I picked up the camera when I was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
My dad was like, okay, we'll see how long this goes. And then,
No, I mean, it's about, see, that's what I'm saying. It comes down to relatability. Because when I saw Wake Up Sid, I was like, Same, the guy is doing commerce and I did commerce in school and accounts exam and stuff. I just like, screwed up big time and I was not good in education. I was educationally challenged.
Okay.
And I thought I was dumb.
Okay.
I genuinely thought I was dumb.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, just go to Bombay, like maybe just join someone there, just take like pictures and stuff. And that's when it was around the same time I started doing short films.
Okay.
You know, and like I got genuine reaction from people. Like we just uploaded it like, yeah, something we did. But like there was back then like some 500, 600 comments. And I was like, what's happening, bro?
That
Like,
was also the time when Facebook was still working.
yeah, exactly. Facebook was still working and people who I looked up to in school, like you know, my seniors and stuff who probably never knew I existed.
And then all of a sudden,
Yeah, suddenly they're like, hey, this was very nice, like very nice. I was like, wow.
finally some adoration, man.
Yeah, I'm like, so this is what it feels like.
16 years, 18 years of not doing anything, and then all
Exactly.
of a sudden.
Yeah.
I know what that
So,
feels like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, so Bombay, it was there at the back of my mind. I wanted to join Xavier's and stuff.
yeah.
I applied for it and stuff. And meanwhile, I was torn between like leaving my friends and going or just going to the same college that they were in.
In my case, they all left me, so it's fine.
You'll hear from me. Okay. So what happened here is I wanted to join Loyola. And they also convinced me saying, no, you should join Loyola, bro. It's like very close by. It's easy.
Yeah, I
you
know, I know.
We'll have fun. Like, nalla irukum, samaya irukum, no? I was like, well, I'll apply for Loyola. And meanwhile, my dad is like, just for safety, apply in another college where you know for sure you'll get.
Did you listen to him?
I listened to him and I applied in SRM, Katangalatur. Anga, we are going. No,
This one also.
of course. No, I went to the parking. I get down. The guy who's giving the ticket for the parking is like, admission. I'm like, yeah. He's like, என்ன course? I'm like, Viscom. He's like, சரி இந்த ஃபார்ம் ஃபில் பண்ணிடுங்க 500 rupees கொடுத்துருங்க கிடைச்சிரும் சீட். I'm like, what? யோ இரு உள்ள போய் பேசணும். He's like, இல்ல உங்களுக்கு சீட் கிடைச்சிரும்.
Veda.
I'm sure.
When I found him, no, like, கிளாஸ்லாம் போவே தேவையில்ல. ஏன்டா அப்படின்னா அவன் என்ன அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் போட போறான், நான் கத்துக்க போறேன், நான் உங்க கூடயே இருக்கேன். அப்படியே உனக்கு சோறு சாப்பாடுலாம் அதெல்லாம் நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன்.
So when that happened, I was like, ஏடா இவ்வளோ ஈஸியா, you know, and stuff. And my dad is like, okay, we'll still go talk anyway. So we go, that guy is like, sir, நீங்க 80% வந்தாலே சீட் கிடைச்ச மாதிரி வச்சுக்கோங்க and all that. And I was like, first நான் 80% வாங்கணும்டா, ப்ரீ போர்ட்ஸில் என்னோட பர்சன்டேஜே வந்து 32. 80%லாம் எங்கேயோ இருக்கு and all. But whatever, I probably got lucky and I got like .80% and
Oh, you managed to get 80, okay.
yeah, I managed to get 80.
79.
Not bad.
And I got into engineering with that mark.
That's crazy.
Which is why I tell people I don't believe my engineering degree because I struggled through 11th and 12th in like Fiji and integrated and all
Oh my
that.
god, Fiji,
And then somehow got into VAT and I was like, okay, we made it. And then VAT thrashed me. Yes, coming back to your story.
So, and then SRM was like a short thing. And Loyola, meanwhile, like as we are coming back from SRM, Loyola's first list came out. And obviously, first list is just mostly morning batch and stuff. They're mostly Christians. It's a Christian institution.
Of course, they do reserve.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, obviously, like I'm not gonna get in the first list. What do you expect, like, and stuff. And then a couple of days later, the second list came out, and my name was there for the interview.
Oh, nice.
And the interview was, going to be done by Vetrimaran.
Oh, lovely.
And for me, it was a big deal. I mean, I've loved his films.
Of course.
So I was like, yeah, sure.
Anybody with some sense of understanding.
Exactly. So in the interview, I go and I show him the couple of short films that I've made. And he actually, without forwarding, he just saw the whole thing, whole 12-minute whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he watched it, and in the end, of course, we had like bloopers. He just skipped that part.
இதெல்லாம் எனக்கு வேணாம்.
You know, and he's like, it's very nice. You know, probably this is the only short film that I've seen in this whole interview round, so it's nice and stuff. And I got into Loyola, and my friends didn't get selected, and they were like, no, Machan, we'll do this, we'll do that. இப்படி பண்ணி வந்துருவோம். You join, you pay the fee, we'll join. Trust me, we have, some contacts and all. I was like,
Oh no.
yeah, typical. I was like, I know where this is going. Like,
தெரியும்டா.
the moment someone says we have contacts, I'm like, yeah, sure, done. So my dad is like, just 3 years, be in the city. You've always gone to school, come back. You've gone in by, the van, or like somebody's always dropped you. You've
There's
come back.
one bubble of safety.
Yeah, there's one bubble of safety. So here you go by yourself, 3 years, just enjoy, do whatever you want. And then you could take a call. Like, it's not like this 3 years is just going to disappear. It's going to be nice. I was like, sure. But obviously I'm thinking my friends are not here.
Huh.
So college starts and I call them. They're still very hopeful. They're like, no, we'll come, bro. End of the week we'll be there. We'll surprise you.
கிளாஸ் எத்தனை இருக்காண்டா என்னடா இன்னும் வராம இருக்க
யார் ப்ரொஃபஸர் நமக்கு அந்த மாதிரிலாம் பேசுறாங்க. I'm like, என்னடா இப்படி பேசுறீங்க? And then end of the week, they're like, hey, Macha, we joined SRM. I'm like, Ada pavingla day. Fine. But what I realized is in Viscom, I was the only guy from my school
Oh,
in my batch.
okay.
So technically nobody knew me.
So it was a heterogeneous mix.
Yeah. And
In
people
hindsight,
from
that could have
different
been
background and everything, like that's when I realized, okay, the world is actually very different. I was living inside a box.
Correct.
And I eventually got what I want. Like basically, at one point when I wanted to go abroad and stuff, I just didn't want to know anybody who
You wanted a
who
clean
knew me.
slate.
Yeah, I wanted a clean slate.
Yeah, fair enough.
So here, nobody knew me. And I started from scratch.
So it was nice.
So I became a more confident person because I had already done short films, and people suddenly they were like, hey, he's done short films and he knows photography. He's done this, he's done that. So it was like a thing where
Oh, he
suddenly I
knows
felt
this craft before
yeah,
us.
somebody, like people looked at me with confidence.
Correct.
In school, I was never a good student.
Because, I mean, our schools are obviously
Yeah,
rigged
exactly.
towards marks.
Yeah. So I was not looked, I wouldn't say looked down upon, but it was like nobody looked at me
With significance.
with significance. Like, it's not like they saw and they're like, hey, he will do something.
There was some attachment to your identity.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
for you now when you're in college, it's he's done something.
Yeah.
In school, it's you're there,
True.
but you're
Exactly.
not doing. I get it. Yeah.
So this happened, and I joined, and those 3 years after that, I realized what confidence can do to a person.
Correct.
Because I became a different person. I was super confident of what I was doing. I didn't think twice before wanting to shoot an idea, wanting to write. I didn't think twice. And I think that's very important for an artist or whoever it is.
Correct.
Even if you have a business idea,
You should just try it.
yeah, you could just try. If you fail, it's fine. Like, you failed.
What's the worst that could happen? They say no.
Yeah.
It's what my boss used to
this is something I learned in college. And those 3 years of college, I really enjoyed. Because, in one way, I was not really attached to any person.
Yeah, you were going there for the college.
Yeah,
and
I was
not
going there for the college. It's not like one person motivated me to come to college.
Correct.
It's not like I wanted to see them, so I wanted to go to college. No.
Correct.
I was very happy, and I could see people having like heartbreaks and just having a personality shift.
Oh yeah.
And
College
I was like,
personality
wow,
shifts
bro,
are
this guy
wild.
was this way in first year and third year. See how he is, and and stuff like that. And I would see like someone dating their best friend and then breaking up and whatever, a bunch
And
of
then
things.
there would be two groups and
Yeah. I saw all of that.
yeah, same.
And I was like happy. I was like, thank God I'm not part of any of that. I'm chill. I've seen this. எனக்கு தெரியும் இது எப்படி போகும் தெரியும். I know how the story ends.
Correct.
So I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Nice.
So 3 years finished, and that's when I got a chance to act in a feature film as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that there was like an actor credit and I was like,
Yeah,
actor.
Yeah.
Please tell me more about that.
So that I was into theater in school.
Okay.
It was like what you do in school types. And in even if you're an alumni, you can still be a part of it.
Which school is this?
Chettinad Vidyashram.
I figured as much.
So yeah, in CV we had the theater group, and I was in college. Alumni can also act in it, in the play.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
That alumni can
They
act.
could, yeah. We had a lot of alumni who did it.
Okay.
In fact,
that was their way of bringing in outside talent to make
exactly.
it feel
like for
more.
example, Kalki, the film,
Ah.
the one who was casted as Krishna, right? KK.
Yeah, KK. Yeah.
Yeah. He also acted in the play back then, like when I was there. So it's like he was of course passed out and stuff, but passed out of like school, So
Understood. It's a podcast. You don't have to worry about it.
It's
You
fine.
can digress.
so on the Mari, I was part of it.
Little theater.
I was not part of Little Theatre.
Okay.
But this was like Chettinad Players.
Okay.
So
they were called Chettinad Players?
Yeah.
They're still there?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. So it was fun. Like, it was good for people who started out somewhere.
Huh. Like a good launching pad.
Yeah. Like, just to like get you used to the
Lights
stage
and
and
the stage
lights and stuff and the crowd and stuff. So it was good. And while during the practice, like, people had come for like casting and stuff.
Huh.
So at that point, my sir theater, Jaikumar sir was like, listen, just because I was the photographer or whatever, he's like, a photo, whoever is there, you know.
கொஞ்சம் photo எடுத்து
Yeah,
அனுப்பிச்சு
just like take pictures or whatever you've clicked off them, just send it across. I was like, sure, done. So I went home that night and I sent all their pictures. I've clicked a lot of pictures for people. So I selected
like every
yeah, sorry.
camera வச்சிருக்கான்
Facebook, DP, all that stuff, you know, typical. Because they all used to come home and for like sleepover, and we used to sit and click pictures, and it was fun.
Of
And that's how I learned, to be frank. I
Yeah.
learned to light because we used to shoot in the night.
huh
So I sent all the pictures, and then he called me back the next day and he's like, "Un photo la anpla." I was like, "Yeah, photo sir. Nada sir photo eduthen." He's like, "Un photo anpu paravala and all."
yeah.
I was like, "Seri, okay, whatever. Something, man. Like you just want to bulk, like, you know, make it bulk."
சார்
and-
எங்கிட்ட இருக்கு சார்
yeah. So I sent it, and end of the week he's like, "Listen, they want to take audition." Like I was like, "Sure, okay." He's like, they want you to come to the audition." I was like, "For what?" And they're like, "No, this is for a feature film. It's a big film, so you do it."
I still don't remember what film this is.
It was Yan. It was Jiva's film.
Oh,
It was directed by Ravi K. Chandran, who I eventually ended up working with.
full circle, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, and then I went to the audition and they liked it, and suddenly they said this film is happening, so you come here, come to Hyderabad. So Hyderabad was one of the first places that I went to, and that's when I saw a proper film set, like massive skimmers and a big unit.
Yeah.
And until then, it was just I've just seen serial shoots and stuff. So when I saw that is when, you know, you feel like the universe is constantly expanding.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, whoa.
Your perspectives changed, right?
Yeah. Like the scale at which everything was done was much bigger. And that's when I was like, I want to do something like this.
Correct.
And the reason, even though I was not pursuing acting, I still wanted to be a part of
Experience
it is because I wanted to know. Like, I mean, of course, Ravi K. Chandran is the director, so it's going to be like a visual
Treat.
thing. You know, it's going to have like a lot of visual elements in it. They're not just going to shoot for the sake of shooting it.
Correct.
So I was a part of that, and I had to miss college for a few days. And
Yeah, of
whatever,
course, college is
which-
okay with that.
Yeah, college, fine. Like Lola was okay. You know, of course, I had my arrears and stuff, which till date I haven't like cleared.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you get your final degree?
Nope.
Just straight went into work, huh?
Yeah. Because like I said, in college I was just shooting short films and I was acting in this feature film.
Where will you go write exams?
Yeah, I couldn't write exams, and I didn't like the whole structure of going and writing exams, and I don't know. I just didn't like. I if you'd let me write the exams, I would write, and I could pass. But like submitting so that you can write the exam is something I couldn't get myself to do it. Like and it's not visual communication subjects. It was like I had basic French, advanced French at the same time, and I was like,
Why?
because you have to pick some subject.
Correct. Oh, because you have to fulfill
Like,
the credits.
Yeah,
and
yeah. And a bunch of things like this, and I just couldn't get myself to do it. And when I thought like third year finished, I mean I did attend all the 3 years. Third year finished, and by then I just ended up joining Ravi K. Chandran. You know, like I would send him my short films and just get his opinion on it. Like by then he knew me, like because I acted in his film,
Huh.
had a good experience with him.
Correct.
So yeah, I ended up assisting him, and like straight after college, I just assisted him in Bombay.
Which film, if you might don't mind? asking?
Multiple films. So the first film that I assisted was Bar Bar Dekho,
Oh, okay.
and then OK Janu, Student of the Year 2,
Oh,
and yeah, like, and then in Tamil,
this IMDb missed. If I had found out, I would have gone straight there.
I haven't even checked my IMDb.
You
Like,
should. It's
I-
quite barren. There's Cobwebs.
Oh, Cobwebs. Okay.
There's obviously your bookmark.
Okay, of
There's
course, yeah.
Dacoit.
Right.
And then there's one more something that I saw and I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this one. It's Bench Life is there.
Bench Life. That's now. Yeah, what I shot now. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Chennai or Hyderabad? What do you prefer?
See, okay. It's
Telugu
a
speaking boy
very-
in Hyderabad. But
Yeah.
in Hyderabad, you're Chennai boy who grew up
Exactly.
speaking Telugu.
So basically, it's funny because all my life, like I told you, right, I've never felt like I belonged anywhere.
Correct.
And I love Chennai a lot because I just grew up here.
Correct.
And I love the beach,
Yes.
even though I don't go to beach every day.
How about you
Going to
like
the
it? You
beach-
know, in back of your
yeah,
head,
I know.
the choice
Like
is
if
there.
I want, I can just go there. And Hyderabad doesn't have that.
Every Chennai person who's grown up here
Yeah.
always says, when was the last time you did? I don't remember. But it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
I'll go.
பக்கத்துல தான்.
இப்படி போயிட்டு வந்துடலாம்.
Yeah. So, and Hyderabad on the other hand has been in my life since 2021. Ever since I got married.
Correct.
And my wife grew up there.
Oh.
You know, she's Tamil, but she was brought up there.
So, full reversal.
Role reversal.
Yeah.
And she would tell me so much about how I should come to Hyderabad and stuff. And now turns out I'm spending more time there than her.
Yeah, this part I know purely because of, well, we have common circles and
Yeah, because exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So
And Bombay is a place where I know I will go back again
when
soon. Like maybe when I finish Dacoit. And Dacoit, we're shooting it as a
bilingual,
Hindi-
you're shooting it in Hindi and in
and
Telugu.
You know, Telugu.
That part is what surprised me the most.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
I have questions about that. We'll outside of the
Of course,
podcast,
yeah.
not here.
Yeah. So I know at some point I will work there. I have a very nice circle there.
Of course.
And I just wanted to tell I was in Bombay when I was assisting. And for me it was like if I'm ever coming back to Bombay again, it would be only if I'm a DOP.
Lovely. I like these statements when they say,
Yeah.
திரும்பி வந்தா நான் இப்படி தான் வருவேன்.
ஆமா. ஆனா நான் வந்து வந்த ராஜாவா தான் வருவேன்ற அந்த திமிரில சொல்ல.
No, of course. No. I'm not trying to get that out of you. Just saying,
Yeah.
it's a nice resolve to say, hey, I want to come.
Yeah, no, because I felt very lonely in Bombay, to be frank. Like
Everybody
I didn't know
feels
the language. I didn't know the language. I had no friends. I had no family.
yeah, everybody who goes to Bombay feels that way, and then they come back, and
But
then
it was a very love-hate relationship. Like I love Bombay. If you ask me tomorrow, do you want to come to Bombay? I'll be like, yeah, sure. Because I have these places that I went to. I was alone when I went
Correct.
there, you know, and
So
it's
you
nice to
enjoyed
just
it a lot,
revisit there. So, and to be frank, I enjoy the working style.
they're more organized.
Absolutely, you know, they bring in a lot of certainty and stuff, and
Only on their end, when they're outsourcing work to Chennai, they screw
that's true.
your
Yeah,
happiness.
that's true. I've seen ads. I've worked on like with the same production, same agency, same ad. Just language is different.
It'll be with light and day
Yeah, light and day.
because they don't care about the other language, man.
It's like, yeah, why will it cost more? I'm like, yo, we're shooting the same thing because the language is different. So yeah, that happens.
Yeah, no, I've had some. I have a very, I won't say contrarian view on Bombay. My experience with Bombay has always been I'm the agency, they're the client,
Yeah. I get it.
and so you know how Chennai is.
Yeah,
we don't like Bombay people.
Yes.
or rather,
it's a preconceived notion here, which I think at some point has to change for the good of people, like the common people as well.
correct.
Because I think everybody has to go everywhere to work. I feel like if you haven't gone out of your comfort circle to work somewhere, you don't see the universe expanding.
Correct.
You know, there's so much to learn. There are so many amazing people you meet,
Yeah.
and you'll never know when they'll walk back into your life.
Definitely. Like
So,
I was supposed to move to Bombay.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen for whatever reason.
yeah.
Till date, I imagine what would my life have been if I had
Yeah.
moved to
Yeah.
Bombay.
That's why people like films like La La Land and a lot of other
Yeah, the what if. I was genuinely just bringing it back.
counterfactual thinking kind
Yeah.
of films. So,
So, what have you watched recently that you thought, oh, that was really nice? Not in a, not the excluding the big names, obviously.
no, I get it. See, okay, recently I've not been able to watch a lot of films, and I think, see, the thing is, I really want to watch a film where it hits me, like, you know, it murders me. I want to watch a film that can murder me.
In
And I
what way?
haven't-
Emotionally?
Emotionally, mentally, like, okay, even in a good way, I'm saying. Like, when I say murder me, like, I saw Baag Milka Baag.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a lovely film, and I took that film to heart
Correct.
because the amount of hard work, aspiration, it motivated me so much, you know. And like that, there is Whiplash,
Oh, I love Whiplash.
you know, and Whiplash for me it hit me personally.
Correct.
Like I am that guy who drums.
Correct.
You know, I am okay to go through hell if I have to. Of course, I have my weak moments, but
Of
I'm
course.
okay to go through hell if I have to.
Yeah.
So, and
The ending of that movie is by far.
yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
So
Every time I think about Whiplash,
Exactly.
I can't watch it again.
Yeah,
I watched it once. I'm good. It's here.
no, I get it. It's intense. So I want some film to hit me so hard. And I've watched a lot of films recently. I've missed out watching a lot of good films. But yeah, I really liked Money Mail Boys.
Oh,
More than the fact that it's, the whole true story part of it. I just liked how sometimes you're at the brink of death in absolute darkness,
yeah.
and the light that you see is not necessarily just God.
It could be just
It
your
can be
friend.
anybody in the form of God.
Oh, yeah.
So when
That's
all
the-
hope is lost, when you feel numb and you see something, you see a movie, something you see, and you feel like, okay, this is giving me hope.
Hmm.
So even like anything as simple as an Instagram post.
Correct.
So
Yeah, I don't think we make that sort of stuff anymore.
yeah. What was the second question, by the way?
I forgot. But I think it was to how has now that you've grown
being
in
a
your
DOP.
role, there is the money involved,
Yeah.
and that playing a part on the art and saying I want to throw the rule book away.
Of course, yeah.
So when does that happen?
So it's a very tricky place. And my answer might not necessarily resonate with everybody else's.
No, that's okay.
Because no, I'm telling you, because it is important that the money aspect of it, right? For me personally, I was able to choose what I wanted to work in.
Correct.
And
That is a privilege that you
yeah,
have.
that is an absolute privilege
That
because
was my next last
I was
question
able to choose because I was like, okay, I've had times where I had like 4,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees in my bank account, and I was done assisting, and I didn't know what to do. And at that point, I felt like I want to just shoot whatever I get in my way, and I have done that. And it's absolutely okay to do that because if you aren't going to save yourself,
then you won't be able to do more work.
yeah, how are you going to show the world what you want to do if you're not going to be around for it?
Correct.
So, there will be times where like you'll just have to pick projects that you get because you need money. And in that process, while doing the project, you might get another amazing project which you might miss out on.
Yeah, that's a conundrum you are always going to. I mean, when you're young, it's annoying, it's
Yeah.
frustrating. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to drop this, I want to
Exactly.
go do that. That
Yeah.
will give me more. But then as you grow older, you're like, you made your
Yeah.
choice.
Exactly.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has happened to me. I've been on both sides of the coin. And when I've done those projects, which has not really made me happy, nothing came out of it. I just shot it for the money. And that money also was not much. It was just something to make me feel secure.
Yeah.
Something. I have, okay, next 1 or 2 months, I'm good. Something just to put me in those thoughts.
Correct.
But beyond that, I've always felt like, okay, worst come worst, I'll borrow money from my parents.
Yeah.
Something like that. I know people will support me.
Correct.
So that kind of a security really is a privilege. And
For sure.
yeah, it comes with having a strong family.
Definitely.
And when I chose, like, when I was like, you know what? Like, okay, when I was 19, I had a chance to shoot a feature film. And I didn't because I just felt like this is not how I'm working. They just wanted to take advantage of you being young and
And them using you as a
yeah,
joker.
yeah.
as in,
You'll just
like
be a
joker.
puppet.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. But I could have just shot it, and it would be nice to have a conversation, tell people saying, yo, I shot my first feature film when I was 19.
But
It
it's
sounds
just a
cool.
conversation point. No.
Exactly. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
But what came out of it? Nothing.
Correct.
So my thing is, whatever I'm doing, I want to make sure there's an impact.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
until you reach a certain point.
Absolutely.
Because every decision you make in your 20s is quite important.
It is. It is like an investment.
Yeah.
What you make in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I used to feel like I have to be on a timeline. I remember in college where there was this Viva that was happening, and you have to talk to the whole class,
Correct.
and you just have to tell how your internship experience was.
Okay.
And I was just talking, and as I was talking, I just said, I have a timeline in my head that by 25, I need to surely shoot 1 feature film. By 30, I need to shoot 3 feature films.
Did that happen?
No, because by then, there was nothing called as like a series or like a web series or anything of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just
It
feature
only
films.
happened 2018.
Yeah. So when I was in college, that never existed.
Correct.
And that lifestyle was not there. And I didn't get to shoot a feature film, but I would just shoot web series and stuff, which I wouldn't count it as a feature film. Absolutely not. They're completely different things.
Yeah.
But I've shot like 3-4 different web series and, through the years. And that's given me the experience to shoot a
It
feature
has
film.
prepared you for
Yeah.
the opportunity of a feature.
Yeah. because I need to show something, right? I need to show something. Like,
You can't just be
because-
like, I want to shoot a
yeah, if people knew how good you are, if people knew the kind of pictures you would take back then when you were like a kid, and they kind of had an idea, yeah, I can trust this guy, it's different.
Correct.
But if like a random stranger is asking me, like I've had many times where like from Bombay, they'll be like, oh, we are shooting this, so can you please send your work? And I'm like, I have no work. Like I've assisted so many projects, but that's about it, right? I need to shoot something. So that's when I started shooting something, and yeah, Hyderabad is where I started shooting.
Okay.
And it was like this best friend of mine. He's Telugu, so he's a director now.
This
He
is
shot Hai Nana,
Ah,
so he's a fantastic.
I loved
director.
Hai Nana.
Yeah,
It's quite
he's-
good.
So
I think that Hai Nana is. Sorry to
no,
digress.
that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Hai Nana was. I watched Hai Nana and I thought this is such a dignified piece of filmmaking.
Exactly,
It
yeah.
doesn't cross a line. It
exactly,
doesn't make
yeah,
you feel like
yeah.
you're.
There's
mean,
a lot of
it-
innocence in the film.
It does make you feel uncomfortable in moments because the story
It's the
demands
whole
it.
point. Yeah,
But it doesn't make you feel like, oh, we could have avoided that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything about that film was
Exactly.
especially the posters.
yeah,
I was
exactly.
drawn to it there.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sold on posters. I'm old school like that.
Of
If the
course,
poster looks good, I'll watch
I'll
the
watch
movie.
the movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we worked on like an independent project, which is not out. You know,
Will it be out?
I hope so. We still talk about it. It's been 3 years. And
These
we still-
projects often make their way when both of you have
No,
like
see, that's what I'm saying, right? But shooting that, we got a nice showreel, and through that showreel, he got his film. I got my film.
so in a way it's
In a way, it's given us what we wanted,
Huh.
but we just wish that came out.
you can just go ahead and put it out on
We could put it out on YouTube, but like we have spent quite
I'm sure.
quite a bit of money.
I've
For an
given up
independent
on
project.
trying to I was
I mean, that's the final idea. Like if it doesn't see daylight, just put it up on YouTube. Like it's
yeah,
fine.
but both of you have enough
yeah.
pull now.
Yeah.
You can put it out and be
I
like
mean, it'll be out at some point, but I know for a fact that'll be a very special project.
correct.
So, yeah, like for me, that's when like, and even like, that's when I realized, okay, so me being a DOP, so much I've learned and I couldn't practice it. And when I saw the output is when I realized, okay, I've actually learned so much. So it's not
Yeah,
bad.
it was a good proof of concept.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could roughly segment your timelines into college,
Yeah.
and then being an assistant, and then now using all of that.
Yeah.
You're probably starting to do the work you want to do 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
the answer is patience and
Absolutely.
and
Patience
for some part
and
privilege.
perseverance and persistence.
Yeah, of course.
So
and also a little bit of the privilege to say
3 Ps,
that I can
basically.
make. Yeah.
Patience, persistence, and perseverance. So, because you have to constantly have that in your head. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. When you have a vision, it'll work.
Correct.
When you're not sure of your vision, it will not work. It will never work. Because if you are not sure of yourself,
Yeah.
how is your subconscious going to help you take decisions for you when you're not sure?
Yeah. A lot of people will not. I think some people will say, so all this subconscious part is not true.
yeah.
But I
No, it is
genuinely-
true. Because when I say subconscious, I'm not saying something magic will happen. No. I'm saying
You
if
have to
I'm
do the
meeting someone,
Yeah.
okay, subconsciously, because I want to do something like that, I might end up striking a conversation that even I wasn't ready for.
Correct.
And that topic might come up and suddenly they'll be like, hey, you know what, even I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, like how we.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of starting the show comes from this one.
Right.
This is episode 1, right?
Okay.
This is episode 1. There's
Crazy. Okay.
There is
yeah.
no episode before this.
I get it. Yeah.
I've been toying with the idea of. We've all been talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I want to talk to people.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, you
Yeah.
just randomly stuck up a conversation, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And that wouldn't happen if you did not have the idea in your mind.
Yeah.
So you need to have the idea in your mind.
Yeah.
And for me, that idea is, it's not about the number of films I want to make. I want to make absolutely respectable films. And I want to direct eventually. So,
I was coming to that.
Yeah.
You've written one
yeah.
somewhere.
Exactly.
I think you wrote.
No, I've written quite a few ideas. And in college, I used to direct all my short films. So, which has been looked at positively.
Okay.
But when I started assisting and stuff, like, it grounds you.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, you don't know enough.
Yeah, you don't know enough.
Because there's
You're
so
still
many moving
half-baked.
parts.
Exactly. You're still half-baked. I mean, you're working with veterans. So what do you expect?
Yeah.
And you're still half
I have to ask, Ravi sir has had a slew of people work under him and
Yeah.
then slowly become
Yeah.
like the most recent example is Prem Kumar
Yeah, of
from
course.
for
Yeah,
me
yeah,
again.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he says it in an interview. He said, I worked with Ravi sir for a year and
Yeah.
then
And a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
yeah. So I have, I mean, in a way, the industry does collaborate, bring people in,
Yeah. Yeah.
so on and so forth. There's some amount of privilege that comes into play for everybody. I mean, I now have the privilege of saying, yeah, my company can produce, but 5 years ago we didn't have it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You just have to go with it.
So 10 years is the answer
Yeah,
by default.
by default. Like it's like I said, see, for example, if I didn't shoot Dacoit now, I would shoot some film somewhere in the future. And maybe I would be a different person then.
Is Dacoit the first feature film?
Yeah, it's the first feature film that I'm shooting. Yeah.
Lovely.
Because before this I've been only shooting like web series and stuff.
How was that? How was that realization that Dacoit is going to be my first?
Yeah, because see, it's not that I did not get a chance to shoot anything. I've always gotten opportunities, but I've learned one lesson through the years. I could shoot whatever I want, but if it's not going to be out there, it doesn't matter.
End result
It
is
doesn't matter.
everything.
It's not. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The product is there, but it doesn't exist.
At the end of the day, we're a fraction of what the people want to watch.
Exactly,
If they don't want to watch it, what's
Yeah,
the point?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that what I shoot, I wanted to be out there. So and that's when like Bench Life happened, and I shot Bench Life because I knew it was going to be out.
Yeah, because it was commissioned.
Yeah, it was
That means
commissioned.
there
for,
is
yeah,
an offtake.
Like there was a date.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first step towards making sure that
It happens.
it happens.
Correct.
And yeah, and then Dacoit just randomly I just got a call one day because somebody saw a showreel that never came out.
Yeah.
Just through word of mouth it reached.
Right. It's a very classic example of stay at it.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Just do your thing. It'll
Exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure you've put in the
no,
work.
for sure. Like I've always made sure that I'm very social when it comes to work.
Correct.
I try my best.
Do you
to
like
be as-
networking?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I actually do. As in
I don't know how to do it. Like I've always never understood.
nothing. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be okay to be in places where you haven't been before.
Okay, so get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were to put it in one word.
Yeah. You just have to be there, and don't talk about things you're not sure about.
Correct.
Talk about things only when you're sure about it.
Okay.
So
Very sound advice. I've never understood.
Yeah.
I've always gone into these rooms and thought, what do I say?
no, because I'll tell you, it's people have a lot of respect when they're talking about something and they ask your opinion, and you're trying to say something so that you blend in.
But they can see through that. Oh, you're trying to say it 'cause you're
Exactly.
blending.
Like
Yeah.
if someone asks me something, like they're like, "Hey, have you seen this film?" I would just say, "Nope, I haven't gotten time to watch it." And they'll be like, "What? Are you serious? Like you of all people haven't seen it?"
Do you watch a lot of films, by the way?
I used to.
Now,
The last one and a half years, I haven't been able to. Ever since we've had the baby and stuff like that.
I was going to ask how
yeah,
has
yeah.
fatherhood been?
It's different. Fatherhood is like very different. Obviously, not as challenging as how motherhood is.
Of course,
But
nothing compared to what they have to go.
Yeah. But it's different. I don't know if a lot of people will understand. But I don't think it's meant to be understood.
I hope my audience, whenever I do build an audience, is older than 28 years of age, because I do not want to appeal.
It's fine.
No offense to the 18-year-olds, guys. Whoever of you, which
No,
is
that's
watching-
fine. I'm saying like they will turn 28 and maybe then they'll watch it. So,
10 years for that.
yeah, I mean, maybe you'll probably be like having like a pretty massive studio then. you know, and
That's the
then-
dream, huh, by the way. Like
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
so him and I, before I set up the name and all of that, we've been toying around with the idea of like setting it up and all of that. So my promise to him is he's the DOP, right? He likes his equipment.
of course,
You like your equipment.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll buy everything. I'll put it in a room. You can do whatever you want with it. Don't come to me. Don't ask me. I need to rent this, rent that.
Yeah, it's your toys.
It's just leave me alone. So I've slowly started buying stuff, and we have a small
That's how it starts.
space
You need
now.
to have your own equipment. I that's how it was for me when I started making my short films. Just buy or make your own equipments, and it's good enough.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
course, yeah.
Last question is, this is for clickbait. I'll be very honest. If you were to make a film, so me and my friends play this game. if you were to make a classic film, recast it today, which film would you recast, and who would you recast it with? I don't know if this portion stays in the video or not. I might just edit it out
I
because
get it. Yeah.
I myself don't like the idea of
No, I get it. But
referencing names.
again, like, are you specific to languages or anything? Nothing.
Your choice. This is just to say, the whole point of this show is to talk about the commerce of cinema, because I really like the commerce of cinema. I think it's a glorious machine.
Right.
It feeds tens of thousands of people every year. There are so many stakeholders. Still unstructured as an industry. I wish the government would say there are some regulations for you now, but the industry would disagree with me on that front.
Right.
But that would mean more work goes into it.
Of course.
Why commerce of cinema is because I think we all need to understand that making a movie is intensive in terms of time, effort, and money.
Yeah.
The only three things that you have as tradable equity, right?
Of course.
You start losing time as you grow older. The significance of years become higher and higher as you grow older.
Yeah.
So it takes time, and that time part people have to understand. The effort part they are understanding now.
They will, yeah.
Because there's more conversation about craft and writing, and thank God they're talking more about writing. But the money part, I think people don't talk about it as much.
They don't. See, because money is very personal. You know,
Don't tell me how much money you make. Tell me what it costs to make it.
So money is very personal to people, and that is a separate business in itself.
Yeah.
Like, I know of people. So it comes down to branding. It's about how well you brand yourself.
Yeah.
So you could be the world's best DOP. Your best. I mean, your work could be the best that there is.
Yes.
But if you are not able to sell that, the fact that your work is the best and what you bring to the table, then people will pay you what they want to pay you.
And you can't ask for it.
You can ask for it. This is a lesson I learned from my best friend. I told you, right?
Yeah.
So he told me this lesson, saying that you just go for it. Charge what you want to charge. And if they really want you, they will tell you what they can afford.
Correct. And then the conversation goes to the next step.
Yeah, and then you take it from there, but don't undersell yourself.
Yeah.
Don't think you're gonna scare people away, because if they think if they get
even a whiff of the fact that he's okay to be undercharged, they will undercharge.
They will undercharge. Yes.
Nice.
So,
Good. That's good advice. I think this is a hunch I've always had. I always, when I go into a negotiation, I tell people, I mean, I'm at the position of saying, hey, how much do you want?
Yeah.
Thankfully, that's the position I want to be in. As creative producer or executive producer, I always say, what's your budget? What do you want?
Yeah.
I know what work is going to go into it. Tell me what you want.
Correct.
And then obviously there's a counter. And I say, hey, this is what I can afford. And one more thing, I don't know where I learned it from. I will only approach someone who I think I'm okay to approach. Like, I'm comfortable approaching you because common circle, this, that.
Yeah.
But eventually I'll have to start going out of that realm, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So when I go there, I should have some setting to say, hey, I have my team, this is what we do.
Yeah.
So that the whole commerce conversation comes up, and which is something I want you to remember when you're recasting.
Of course.
Because now I don't want to go into the topic of casting people because they have a good following.
I get it, yeah.
It helps, but it's not necessarily the only way to make a film.
No, that's true. See, my opinion on I do think about it sometimes. Like, for example, if I saw Alai Paide or whatever, I think, who could act if we did it now?
Yeah, okay, that film. Who would you?
Okay, Alai Paide. So it was Madhavan and Shalini.
Yes.
And Madhavan was a proper, sweet talker, chocolate boy, whatever, all that stuff. Like a very sweet talking character.
Yeah.
Who didn't realize how neck deep it is to get into
a relationship,
falling in love.
Yeah.
And how it's not simple to just run away and get married.
Correct.
That's what he realizes.
Yeah.
Because you can run away and get married. It's fun. It sounds cool.
Correct.
So, that kind of a character. So I
think that was the first film that showed what would happen if you run away and married.
Yeah.
Till that point, everyone was talking about running away.
Yeah, running away, getting married happily ever after.
How?
Exactly. It's like Ramayana. Ramayana doesn't end with just the
Sita.
war ends and like they both get together. No.
There's so much
There's
after
something very big that happens after that,
Yeah.
which nobody knows.
I know. When I know because of our
Exactly, yeah.
family backgrounds. But
Yeah. So, that happens. So, yeah, like with Alai Payade, I don't know. When I think about it, right now I feel like Dulquer. Maybe Dulquer like
Okay.
maybe 3-4 years back. Like Dulquer, like OK Company types,
I mean, in a way, OK Company was a good
Was
successor.
like
to-
that's how I felt, because when I saw the casting for OK Company, I was like, hey,
இது எங்கேயோ பார்த்திருக்கோமே.
that meme of
Corporate wants to tell you that spot the
exactly,
difference.
yeah, and that whole meme of DiCaprio where he's like, hey,
I've seen this somewhere.
I've seen this somewhere.
Yeah, I felt the same way too. I watched OK Company with my parents, unfortunately.
Okay,
So
great.
it was quite awkward for me.
I get it.
I was like, sorry, I brought you to this movie, guys. I didn't know who else to bring.
Yeah. So I mean, Dulquer is one option, and then, like if you take a look at like people who are comparatively new
Today.
not so popular and stuff. I mean, it's not a bias, but I feel like my friend from school, Kishan Das, who acted in Mudalni Mudivumni as
Yes,
well.
I know
I feel like he would really
Yeah.
fit that.
If he bulks up
because-
a little.
I mean, yeah, that you can always do it.
Yeah. I think he was awfully wonderful in Mudalum Nubudum.
Yeah.
I've been always skeptical
was.
of movies of that genre.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to watch another romance. Because we'd come to a point where in Tamil they say
I mean, romance is overdone. So romance is overdone.
Most
It's
overdone
just
genre
because
in
every
the
film has romance. Even an action film has romance in it.
yeah.
So romance is
agree.
overdone, and romance is probably there only for the sake of songs or whatever. Like
Correct.
Devara, for example, has romance, and
Yeah.
it has multiple romances. So whatever. Like
I
it's
still haven't watched Devara.
good. It's okay.
No, but to answer the question, now you have to recast Shalini. You've cast Kishan
Yeah.
as
So Kishan would be my option, and because I mean I know him, like I know what he's capable of,
yeah.
and
I think he was very good in
yeah,
Mudalum
he was very good. He was very good. Like I really
I
felt
really
it was
like
very
his
real.
trajectory as well. Huh?
Sorry.
I really like his trajectory.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit on films, make films. Oh shit, this is what films are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to reach out to him as well. I'm like,
Yeah,
sir,
actually,
please
him and
come."
I, with the whole reviewing thing, also, we actually wanted to do it together. But then I was already in films by then. I was like, no, bro, I can't.
Okay. I should.
So I started acting in a feature film then, right? I was 18,
Okay.
like 17, 18. So yeah, he was my junior, and yeah, whatever. That happened.
I will
So,
ping
yeah.
him next. I'll be
Sorry?
like, I'll ping him next. I'll be like, brother,
Yeah,
please
no,
come.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Shalini, there's not many young female leads that I've come across personally.
No.
So
I felt the same way too.
Yeah.
I felt like, we're not discovering too many new people.
yeah.
Ah.
Like it's because like I'm still looking for someone like that. I'm genuinely not able to point my fingers at it. But I'm somebody who believes in a lot of auditions.
I wish we could do like, I think Shreya Sports Talent.
Oh yeah.
They're doing
Sharanya, you mean?
Sharanya, sorry.
Yeah.
Sharanya Sports Talent is doing a great job.
Exactly.
So many open auditions.
I'm always in touch with her.
Yeah.
I'm always in touch with her, and we talk about films and
Yeah.
whatever in general.
I really like how
Yeah.
I think Chennai's theatre scene has finally matured to a point
Yes.
where there is a
There is something.
Samyukta Vishwanathan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
She
something
did
like that. Yeah.
She would be a very
She
good.
would be a very good fit. Yeah.
I've seen her
Yeah.
work. And
Actually, yes, you're right. Yeah.
she'd be a very good fit. I
Yeah.
think that pairing would work.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, they know each other as well. So.
Yeah, that is important nowadays.
Yeah,
It
it
makes sense for
Yep.
some existing chemistry to come on.
Exactly. So. Yeah, that way it's.
Would you ever return to theatre as a writer?
As a writer, maybe not in theatre, but I would really like to act.
Really?
Yeah. Acting is something I really enjoy. Like it's
Okay.
because I like going through that process. I usually sit alone and I work on,
Oh, okay.
the character.
You're
or the
methodical
lines.
then. You're
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I don't like, if it's just talking in public and stuff, I just wing it. I don't need any
Nah.
pre-planning and stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's acting, I like to sit and meticulously plan and have an idea as to knowing what I'm doing. So Yeah.
We should do something next year. I'm writing one melodramatic
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
play about narcissism.
Wow. Okay.
I'm working with Kirti ma'am again.
Oh, that's nice.
This time she came to me. She said, "We'll write about narcissism."
Nice.
I was
Yeah,
like,
of course.
"Ma'am, கஷ்டமான டாபிக்கா தரீங்களே நான் எங்க போவேன்?" So I've devised
You
one.
can find a lot of real life examples. So-
Too many I know. Many in the family.
of course.
Isn't it where it all starts?
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I think we should wrap it up now. I don't know how to end an episode. I will learn how to end an
You will
episode in
learn
the next
eventually.
episode.
You will watch it. You're gonna learn. So
Yeah, I'm going to have way too much fun editing this.
Yes,
But
yes,
thank you so much for coming.
Yep.
It was a pleasure. I hope this episode does not get shelved. If it does get shelved, I'll be like, I'm coming to Hyderabad. We'll shoot again. Sunday, we'll buy some brunch and we'll
for
sit
sure,
down.
no worries.
But this is going up for sure.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
of course.
என்னடா போடலாமா போடலாமா All right. Thank you so much.
Alright,
And that's a wrap, guys.
Yep.
Cut. I don't know if you both enjoyed.